by the bronze sign at the base of the stairs in front of the visitor center. Do you see those pillars over to the left beside the door on the lower level? They're a good place to hear the story of the rocks that were used to make this building.
People come up here and you see the huge fossils in this rock. And people wonder, when was sea level ever up 3,849 feet above sea level? It wasn't. This stuff came from down below.
Lavin says the whole summit building is made out of 15-million-year-old rock quarried at the base of the mountain down on Southgate Road. The same rock is found at Briones Regional Park, Las Trampas Regional Wilderness, and Mission Peak Regional Preserve.
This was built during the 1930s. It was finished right at 1940. And why they didn't use local rock? Well, back then it was a CCC project. All those out-of-work artists and masons, they loved this sandstone. It had the fossils in it. And there was also out-of-work truckers. So they quarried it from down below in the 15-million-year-old rock. They drove it up to the top here, and that's what they built the museum out of. So this rock represents rock in that big embayment, the San Pablo embayment. Here are some oysters and some scallops and mussels. All the tourists that come up here love to look at the fossils. You can always tell the geologists because they're looking at the sand that encased the fossils. And in some of the sand, you'll notice that there are little red pebbles. That's chert. And when you see that, you know that the rivers that were pouring into this embayment 15 million years ago must have been flowing from either the west or the south. That's where Franciscan rock was uplifted. There was a mountain range to the south called the Diablo Range. The range had the audacity to rise up before the mountain that gave it its name. And to the west, San Francisco and Marin. The Franciscan rock was exposed and draining towards Mount Diablo. Sometimes, though, the sand that encases the fossils, it has kind of a bluish or a grayish tint. That's actually a weathering product of basaltic rock that covered the foothills of the Sierra Nevada mountains 15 million years ago. So we know when we see that, the rivers, at least for that particular snapshot in time, must have been flowing from the east, from the Sierra Nevada, into this old embayment.
I point to a fossil on the left-hand pillar that looks like a cross-section of a sand dollar outlined in white.
And that might even be one of the sand dollars.
The sand dollars.
So that's a big deal.
Looks like a cross-section.
Everyone looks at the other ones, and we'll even see some nicer ones. Those are the big deal. Which tells us that somewhere there was an opening in that embayment to the open ocean, so that sand dollar could get the salty water that it needed. Here's another big oyster.
That oyster is 3 inches long, and there are perfect scallop shells and more. We've almost finished our tour. I hope you've enjoyed it. On our way home, I asked Lavin to summarize the geologic story.
There's 2 stories. One's the story of the rocks, which is a 190 million year old story, and the second is the story of the mountain, and what makes the rocks isn't what made the mountain. Mount Diablo is a array of Mesozoic and Cenozoic age rocks, mostly sedimentary, some igneous, some metamorphic. Mount Diablo itself was uplifted in very recent times, only 1 or 2 million years ago, not by volcanism, but by folding and faulting by tectonic forces.
If you're eager for more guided Mount Diablo adventures, check out the rest of our Audible Mount Diablo series. We'll hope to see you on the trail again soon. Thanks for listening.